Hello, and welcome to our pre-recorded session of Alley's End. This is episode 5, and thanks so much for joining us this evening. Uh, I'm joined here by an incredible cast of detectives, femme fatales, and gumshoes. I'm going to have everybody go around briefly, just introduce yourself and your character real quick. So I'll start with Andy Rowland.
Hello, I'm Andy Rowland playing Vic Dionore, a cop with thoroughly no secrets. Uh, Pass it over to Sarah Moore.
Oh, hi. My name is Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. And tonight I am playing Ronnie Falls, the private investigator and also cleric, and also the person holding the resurrection scroll in her pocket that nobody's talking about.
Yet.
I don't think anyone knows about it.
That's true. I didn't tell anybody
There you go.
anything.
Can't talk about what we don't know. I'm surprised you guys didn't talk about Pike turning into a puddle of water.
Otto,
We got lots of time.
Caleb, if you want to introduce yourself.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name's Caleb Patrick. I'm playing Otto Grisbum. And last time that we played, I believe Otto and Pike kind of got into it. And it ended with Pike turning into a puddle of water and Otto going absolutely ballistic outside while everyone else is talking upstairs after the whistles were blown. So can't really wait to see how it goes.
And Alicia is Cordelia.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm playing Cordelia Claremont, femme fatale, who recently had the voice of 1,000 disembodied shadows just going through her mind and then had a doppelganger of herself pulled out. So, doing great, feeling good.
That's right. My name is Jake Hipsch. I'm running as the GM this evening. And as we dive into our session, I first want to say that we are playing a Dungeons & Dragons 5e using the 2024 rules. However, we have at least one homebrew mechanic and rule in the game, which is that all of our characters just recently leveled up to level 5, but they can only have a maximum of 25 hit points. And that's because in Noir, we like things to be a little bit gritty, a little bit scary, and everyone, including the villains and enemies, can only have up to 25 hit points so that things are fast and vicious when it comes to combat. But as we dive into tonight's session, a quick recap. Last time, our party gathered together. They arrived at Curio University where they uncovered a series of clues and then were attacked, ambushed by Carvis Pike, a rival to Otto Grisabum, and another one of the members kind of coming from Dockside and his redcoats. The redcoats and Carvis Pike, they attacked the party and through a series of very clever magical spells, lucky rolls, and unlucky situations for me, the party very handily dealt with the redcoats. However, as Otto Grisabum was getting ready to eliminate his rival escaped through a series of what seems to be maybe magical means, proclaiming, "I have the power of life and death on me. You cannot kill me." The party then prepared to escape out of the university and have been putting together pieces of the timeline surrounding a anti-magic field device controlled by the Maxes, the owners of the Snake Eyes Casino, that has seemingly been going off, or at least being tested in some way, starting to cause magical power across the university and maybe further to dissipate and turn off, at least for a period of time. Choosing to flee as they could hear the fire alarms and various alarms of the university going off, and hearing the constables coming to the university itself, our party fled into the alleys to escape to a region known more for its folklore and horror stories, the nightmares for children, a place called Alley's End. A place where all alleys may lead you to if you do not keep your wits about you, or if
What's
you
our smartest decision?
tend to stay in the shadows for too long. Our session concluded with our party reconciling what exactly they were seeing in the alley and coming face to face with a shade a figure from the alley itself, the disembodied voices and shadows of many who get lost here, reaching out psychically to Cordelia Claremont, saying, I need your help. We need your help. And we come into tonight's session with you all standing again in a central, almost kind of like a little square, surrounded by buildings on all sides and branching alleyways off of it. Before each alleyway, you see what seems to be almost like a wall of mist and shadows, 4 of them standing just out of view shot. Only their shadows themselves, kind of like almost like projections upon the walls of mist and smoke. The buildings that surround you, none of them have windows. In this space, as you look and as you stand there, 3 of you are psychically connected. Vic, you are standing there sort of taking things in as well, not being part of the other 3. As Otto, you wisely connected Cordelia and Ronnie all together to lessen the mental load that Cordelia was feeling after casting a detect magic spell. Before you, as you all see a fountain with a crooked and bent arcane lamp hanging over it, signs pointed in all directions, each one of them reading nowhere. And then the light in the center of that lamp flickers, beat almost like a heartbeat. And again, you see is but for a moment, that lamp seems to shudder and fizzle, and every other one of the same identical street lamps surrounding you for a moment fizzles and flickers out before reigniting. The world for a second is cast in shadow, going extremely dark. And before all of you, you see a bunch of little tables with various plates and cups, the sounds of clinking, and a figure that looks exactly like Cordelia Claremont. Gray, almost ooze-like. And as you look closer, the figure seems to be like coalesced mist, but with some more substance to it, like grime, dirt. Everything that could give it a little bit more texture seems to be coalescing within it. And you see it is faceless as it looks at all of you. And Cordelia, you hear it yet again go, help us. And the cacophony of thousands of voices echo through your mind, Ronnie, your mind, and Otto's mind. Help us, save us. What do you do?
I want to talk to the figure.
Okay.
I want to go. Is she sitting down with tea, like at a...
Standing before you, having just pulled themselves from Cordelia, you can see that they're just sort of standing between you 4, and the flickering lamp that sits in the center of this space.
What do you need help with?
We are being attacked. We are fading. And you hear it fading, fading, fading.
And
Did this? Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Recently? Like, is this all one? I need you to all stop talking at once, please. Just one at a time, dear. Did this start recently?
I got a quick question. Are you guys just talking out loud? And Vic just can't hear any of this? He just hears like a one-sided, okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like, so, yeah, who all is talking at once? What are you hearing? Okay, no, it seems like you have something else going on. Vic,
You don't hear the whispers. The whispers on the winds.
As you say all this, like this quick exchange amongst all of you, you see as the figure standing there turns to sort of regard you, Vic, and then nod, almost kind of like an acknowledgement, and it turns back to you, Cordelia, as you ask this your question, and you see for a moment like that a little bit of the smoke and grime and soot nearby where a mouth would be begins to warp and shift for a second, and then you see as a mouth emerges on the figure, and it begins to speak, not through a psychic connection, but instead just more like a common speech. As you hear it go, "This is recent for us. Ever since the magic began to fade, we are under attack. Help us."
Who's attacking you? Do you know?
No, we don't.
Okay.
I would like to cast Augury.
Okay. I love it.
I've never heard of that spell.
I just cast it on myself. And I will receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes.
Rad.
So I am interested to see if we try to help these shades, like, how dead will we be? How much blood of ours will stay in our bodies? That's what I'm wondering.
That's such a
Oh.
good question.
It's such a good question.
That's a good question.
It takes about a minute to cast this, so I'm going to let you I want you to, in a moment, just describe what this looks like. But I think anyone else here has a chance if they want to kind of quick ask a question to the figure as well.
Yeah. I think for me, it just looks like I'm just going to take a swig of coffee. That's a ritualistic thing for me. And then I think it's very sort of internal, this one. And so I think she's sort of just doing some hand action, just pretty close to her body.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So as you're starting to cast a spell, you can all see that Ronnie is beginning to cast some sort of spell, but you have a chance here if you want to ask any questions or to do anything else.
I got you with Otto. He sees this come up. He hasn't really said much this entire time, and he still has the ball bearings in his hand. And he takes one, he looks at it, and he tosses it at whatever this figure is. And does it go through? Does it hit and just bounce off? Like what?
I want it to like slurp through, like.
You see, as it hits, you see as smoke and mist pull from this, but then you see as it starts to slow down, like the initial, imagine like a ball bearing or something hitting sand in that poof of sand, but then you see it there slowly moving through the rest of it.
Okay. Well, if the magic seems to be fading, have you seen anyone else come through these alleys aside from us as of late?
Yes, you are not the first. You will not be the last.
Were any of them wearing a coat like this? And then he gestures to the red coat that he's wearing.
As you say that, all of them begin to snicker. The sound is like that sound of clinking glass where you put like a cup upon a plate. However, you hear it for a moment like the ching, 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 and then suddenly it shifts into almost like laughter, like the spraying of coins as they fall to the ground, or you hear kind of like this the sound of breaking glass. Yes, one of them wore what you are wearing. Another did not. We can show you the one that looks like you.
By all means. And as I say that, I pull out the little pipe that stays on his waist, and he packs it with a little bit of whatever the dock side. I can't remember what I called it. Episode 1. I'm gonna be honest, it was like a month ago.
Yeah.
And then he just starts taking a couple of puffs as all this is going on.
Vic and Cordelia, was there anything you wanted to do? Otherwise, are you just kind of sticking in with how Otto's line of inquiry is going?
I mean, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have questions, but I think the red.
Yeah, I think Vic is like keeping an eye on the area and like looking around to see if anything else is changing or shifting. But this is good.
I mean,
also, I think Ronnie's spell, you're starting to smell it now. I think it smells like warm spices.
We got the pumpkin spice augury.
Yeah.
As you are casting this spell, Ronnie, you are obviously paying attention to what else is going on here, so you're not being excluded from this. But you see as the figure turns, and it's like you see as they sort of wave their hand, and from the other sort of shadows and shades that seem to stretch up on the walls, you see one of them pull itself free and begin to walk over, coalescing into mist, similar to the figure you're looking at, but less corporeal, more like a shade, more like a shadow. You see as a coat starts to pull across it, and you see as the arcane street lamps surrounding you seem to almost like flare slightly, and as the coat emerges on the figure, the smoke of that coat seems to tint slightly red from the arcane street lamps. The figure is very small, almost childlike, walking forward.
Crab apple.
This one came in only a day or so ago.
Should have kept your hands on the squirrely bastard, Vic.
I tried. I really did try.
You have to give it up for the alley, though. This is rather beautifully produced. The effects are gorgeous.
And are you able to show us the other?
Yes, I can. You see as again a hand waves and a figure pulls itself from the wall and begins to coalesce. This figure much taller than the smaller red coat. You see as this figure, as they're striding, begins to sort of like bend, and it's the shadow seems uncertain exactly what this person looks like, but as the mist coalesces, a cloak and hood pulls around them, and the arcane lights yet again flare, and you see that the cloak and hood begin to take on this very like beige mundane color to them as the figure walks forward.
Does this figure look anything like the figure Nimbus saw on the roof?
Oh, in the silhouette of the university?
Silhouette of the university?
No.
Okay.
No, very much different. You see as this figure walking forward, reaches forward towards the central shade, and the central shade says, "This one showed up about a week ago and demanded our services."
Did
You
you
see
know,
the
son,
figure.
my entire life never knew that the alley actually was alive.
You see as the figure reaches forward, in this moment, your augury resolves at the
Great.
same time. You see in this moment, the shade reaches towards the central specter, and you see as what seems to be like a puff of smoke coalescing into what seems to be magic, reaches forward and like a chain hooks to the central figure. At the same time, your augury finishes, and you, for a moment, you smell the nutmeg, and a little bit of mist and smoke draws close to you, and your eyes see only what it is beginning to show you. For a second, almost as if your eyes roll into the back of your head, you see images of a hand reaching forward, casting a spell. You see as chains bind into the shades around this space. You see as the hand looks ghastly pale white and looks to be gnarled and wizened in you, though you can't tell whether from magic or from just simply that's who they look like. You see then your vision shifts again to you all standing there, and one of you reaching forward towards the shade. You then see as your vision flashes again to all of you facing off with something that is dark, shadowy, large, but wielding a fist of light. And your augury tells you, unfortunately, this is a weal or woe. By making these choices, you know, you can feel, you ask the question of blood spilled. And in that final image of facing off against this entity, you see your blood spilling across the floor, the entity's blood spilling. And before it can determine which one kind of wins out, the vision fades away. This will cost you.
I think probably I went real stiff when that was happening. So I kind of slump when the vision like lets go of me. I think we're all still linked.
Yeah.
So that means that I'm kind
Not
of
all technically, but
Yeah.
no, I'm physically three of us
yeah,
are
yeah,
linked
we are all
physically.
together.
Yeah. So I think I sort of lose my footing and kind of like slump down. Do you guys catch me, or did
I'll
I
move
just
to
try
catch
do all
you.
the...
Yeah. I'll move to catch you. We'll go from I was slumped earlier and now you'll
No,
be slumped. We'll
my
just
turn.
wait.
Yeah.
Stepping forward, catch Ronnie. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna pause and look up at you and say, if we do this, I don't think we're all coming out.
Are any of us coming out if we don't?
Wasn't able to determine that. I asked about bloodshed, and it's gonna happen.
I mean,
I'm
they say
gonna-
Ali's ends where hope goes to die, but tonight it's where we had to go to live. So if blood needs to be spilled for us to get out, I feel like I like the odds here better than what we just left from.
I'm gonna look down at Ronnie and I'm gonna take a deep breath and look over at the flickering lights and kind of remember that the lights in the university were doing the same thing. And I'll turn to the shade that's me but without my face. And I'll say, you don't exist if arcane magic doesn't exist. Is that right?
Yes.
So you want us to stop whoever is turning the magic on and off?
Yes. And we will help you.
And what exactly will it cost us? I say that because it's Ali's end, so the shadows don't just follow you, they judge you. And every corner's got eyes, and every eye's got a price. So, what's the price?
I mean, it feels like we're helping them, they're helping us. It feels like that might be a price.
I mean, they did sit there, and you're looking at Miss Cordelia with no face in front, and both of them weren't looking too hot earlier, so they already took something from us, I'd imagine.
I think I tilt my head while I'm watching the figure, and Jake, if it's okay, I think the figure mirrors me.
Oh, 100%. The figure of me is, as you're all kind of like quickly bantering and you're holding Ronnie up a little bit in this moment. Ronnie, you're still catching yourself. Ronnie, you're taking in this scene too, but I think like Vic and Otto, you two are both going back and forth. But in this like moment of pause, right, where it's mostly just a connection between you and the figure, Cordelia, as you tilt your head, it has sort of looked at you and it's tilting its head as well. And you see from this figure, you feel kind of like a connection for a second as psychically it says, "My name is Vale. What is yours?"
That kind of depends most days. Right now it's Cordelia.
As you have that moment of connection, you're asking, name your price. You see as Vale then speaks aloud to all of you. Our price is something small and dear. We exist on magic and memories. If one of you is willing to connect yourself to us, it may sustain us for this journey. Otherwise, we are trapped here.
I told you they were going to ask for something, Vic. We're trying to help them, and they're still taking from us.
I mean, are they memories? They are memories that you. He kind of looks at Vale like, "Hey, are you just a memory given form?"
I am. We all are.
Do you want out of here?
They, and you see his veil points to the other shadows, wish to someday escape. But it's not today.
Okay.
Well, what's another shady contract in my line of work? If the Maxes or whoever managed to pull off this anti-magic weapon, I mean, that spells the end for both of us, doesn't it? For the alley, for Cordelia Claremont. So what do you say? I'll do it.
I'm gonna sort of place my hand on Cordelia. Are you sure you might not get it back? They'll pick something important to you.
To be honest, Detective, I don't know what is important to me. I don't even know if I'd notice it missing. Who knows? Maybe they'll just take anacondas from above. That wasn't that good of a film anyway.
Well, hold on. That's
It was
a
fine, Vic.
fine
It was
picture.
fine. The reviews were middling. If they take that, it'll be fine. It's not your typical back alley deal, but
Yeah. Hey, I've got some X's. You can. Oh no, you need a
They're
memory.
not gonna.
Here, never mind.
They're not gonna
That's
take
worse.
that. They're gonna take your first kiss. They're gonna take the lullaby from your mother. They're gonna take the moments that you felt safe and loved and joyful.
I've never felt safe, loved, had a mother or a kiss in my life, so I don't really think they got much to take from me.
I've got few enough of those that I'd rather hang on to them.
I'll be okay. No,
there-
there's I firmly believe, Detective, that all of my good memories are ones that I've yet to have. And you know, I'll help you, Allie, and you'll help me, and at the end of it we'll part ways.
Prior to making this agreement, I do have to ask, is there any information whatsoever that you would deem critical or important enough to our endeavor to actually give us before they take it from you? Anything that we should know at all before they take it? Something that we can tell you again, and maybe it'll bring it back so you don't really lose it?
I mean, nothing all that important, just that Vic has some of my personal mail on him.
Why?
I didn't
Well,
think
I
that.
don't-
Not in a creepy
think
way.
Vic
No,
was
that
in the way of
didn't
petty
sound.
theft.
Yeah.
Is he really
I
the
don't have
number one
anything on me.
super
All
fan?
I've got is for this Cora lady.
She's obviously Cora.
You
Yeah,
watch
but-
as Otto
Oh.
squints his eyes and he starts really looking at you, and he's just like, really, your little Clearwater.
Hold on. Why is Cordelia Claremont pretending to be some scrub from Dockside?
Oh,
Probably the
Vic,
other way.
I'm
It's the
flip it
other way
around a little.
There it is. Okay, no, I get it now. I get it.
It's a stage name kind of a
okay.
thing.
Well, then, before you lose memory of whoever you are, he'll take out an envelope and hand it to you.
I feel like both Miss Falls and I know what's in here, but I'll open it anyway. Does it say the same thing as the rest of my blackmail, Jake? If I open to read it.
You open this blackmail up. As you pull it up, you see, as it is a poster of Kiss in the Shadows, the date scribbled across the top of it of the premiere that is only days less than a week away. I think it's about 3 days away at this point in time, soon to be 2. As you don't really know what time it is, you just know it's very early morning and none of you have had a long rest.
Boo.
As you open this, you also see a note written as well. Dear Cora, or should I say Cordelia? For some time now, I've taken an interest in your rise to stardom. The city is enamored with you because you remind the people to hope for something better. It is a lie. Be at Weird Studios the night of the premiere, or she will suffer. And a piece of hair comes out of the envelope.
What color's the hair?
It is brown.
Is it just me, or does that look a lot like Vic's handwriting?
You've never seen my handwriting, first of all.
If we get out of pen.
You, Ronnie, see that on the other side of the piece of paper, as Cordelia, you're looking at this for a moment, Ronnie and Otto, I'm just positioning you so you two will see on the other side of this piece of paper, there is some arcane, what seems to be arcane or magical text. This piece of paper, you've seen this, you've just recently identified one, is a scroll.
I would like to hold my hand out to take it.
Are you back on my case, detective?
I do believe that luggage is for Miss Cora. Is there a reason that you want it, Ronnie?
I guess that's up to Cora. Are you willing to trust me?
I suppose I don't have much choice. I'm willing to trust the sentient alley whispering, eat you at me. So I suppose you're smaller potatoes, all things considered.
So incredibly honored by that. I would like to, when we get out of here, I would like to identify what this scroll is. But I think it's probably important for us to move along before we do that. So I'm going to tuck that in with the other one, just collecting them, put them all in there together.
Collectively kind of looking, Cordelia, you stand there, hair in hand. You've now told these things to the others. And as you look around and you look up, Vale is standing, hand outstretched towards you.
Can I toss a coin in the fountain prior to this? I'm just going to take out one of my little coins. I'm going to flick it in the fountain and just go, with Zephyr's guidance, please watch over this union and this agreement. Please make sure that she doesn't get the short straw in this end.
Perfect. You flip the coin. You see Vic, you watch as it flies in, hits into the pool, and drifts and lands perfectly on top of the coin you already saw in there.
All right. One final thing, just in case they take this. I'm not positive, but I think this lock of hair might belong to Gertie, the woman at the club at the Max's the other night, you two. And in case that's what they take, make sure that I know that I need to look out for her and that somebody who matters needs me. It's a rare thing to say, but it's actually true in this case, and I need you to hold that for me, okay?
I might need, I'd like to try something. And Jake, I'm gonna see if I can stretch the limits of a spell a little bit.
Oh, right.
So I've got a cantrip, as you know, called Encode Thoughts, where I can pull out a strand of my own memory to basically pass a message or whatever. Could I try and I want to go up to Cordelia and say, hey, if you want to send the message to yourself after this is done, I don't know what you're going to lose, but I might be able to make that happen. And I'm going to go up. Can I touch your head?
Yeah, yes. We've been holding hands for 15 minutes, Vic.
Okay, the head's different. Just think about the memories that you
The title of this episode.
It's different.
That's it. Just think about kind of what message you want to tell yourself, a memory you might want to hold on to. It's not going to be the same as a real memory, but just focus on it. All right. And as she does, I'm going to kind of hold my hands up to her temple, and then I'm going to pull out a little silver strand, and say, I'll hold on to this till we're out. And I'm going to tuck that in my pocket.
Thank you, Beck. Okay. I will steel myself. And then I will, I guess, drop Vic's hand. I don't know who's on my right side.
that's
So
yeah.
whoever's holding my right hand.
Probably me.
Yeah, I'll drop that and I'll reach to shake.
Okay. As you reach out, you clasp hands, feeling what seems to be texture in a body, or at least some entity touching you back in this moment. It feels also like a little bit of air pushing against your hand. And in this moment, you feel as suddenly it begins to push towards you and wrap and swirl around you for a moment. And you see as it starts to coalesce, a voice only in your mind in this moment. Though I will let Ronnie and Otto roll perception checks to catch wind of what it is saying to Cordelia. I cannot deny that you are connected.
I got an 18.
Otto, what do you get?
16 plus 6, 22.
All right. Both of you will overhear what is going on as the shadow and veil coalesces around you. Cordelia, you hear as the voice says, "What do you wish to offer that is dear to you? However powerful it is to you, that is the power we can return to you and give you."
My family, they've been shipwrights for centuries. Generations. I don't even know how far back, but they've been mending the ships. And when I was little, that's what I was always told I would do. And it never quite fit. Nothing ever fit me the way it was supposed to. But I have one thing that I've held on from them. It's the first spell anyone ever taught me. It's just a mending cantrip, and I know that seems small, but it was the first piece of magic I had, and it was the only thing that I did the way my family wanted. Can I give that to you?
Yes. You, by even saying, can I give that to you, you feel as it starts to get pulled. You see as the memory starts to pull away from you in this moment. Vic, you not being necessarily connected to this moment, you see for a second as the starts to flicker and then fade. And in that moment, Cordelia, that you feel it getting pulled from you. You hear as Veo's voice goes, "Oh no, oh no, I'm sorry." And suddenly you feel much more getting pulled from you. In this moment, as Vic, you see the lantern in the center of the space flicker out for a second. Cordelia, in this moment in time, as you feel mist wrapping around you, the world seems much more gray, a lot more black and white in this moment. Cordelia, I need a wisdom saving throw as you feel whatever magic of transfer is happening here feels disjointed. Imagine like if you were transferring or making any sort of download or update that's getting cut off significantly. You're feeling it getting pulled and jarred and broken in this moment. Cordelia, what do you
I got
get?
an unnatural 20.
Yeah.
In this moment, Cordelia, you manage to steel yourself as you hear the voices, thousands of voices, but veils above all going, I'm sorry, as the pulling is going against you. Help us.
I'll help you. It's okay. It's okay. Can you breathe? Is that a thing you do? Just like it's okay.
And in
It's
this
okay.
moment, you feel as you kind of, with a stalwart poise here, the rest of you seeing this lantern flicker and die. You see as the shadows coalesce around Cordelia. Cordelia, passing your wisdom saving throw, you successfully manage to keep much more about you instead of losing yourself in this moment. And the shade veil falls upon you. Cordelia, what do you want Veil to manifest as? Either an article of clothing, an item, something upon your person as you bind yourself to Veil.
Can Veil, does it need to be like tangible or can Veil just be in my shadow?
If Veil can be in your shadow, sure. Yeah. You see as it coalesces around you, it falls flat, pushing against your shadow and merging with it. And you feel for a second as your shadow seems to grow darker, darker than anyone else's. And you see it as now you feel a power well within you, Cordelia, in this moment. Every one of the alleyways around you, all of you, the four shadows that seem to be just sort of flickering like projections, you see as they all take steps backwards, and the walls of mist and smoke that have surrounded you begin to dissipate and swirl inwards, all coalescing and pulling into Cordelia's shadow. You now stand in just a square. You start to hear the sounds of the bustling city around you.
Um,
Well,
okay,
Otto, I don't know if we're gonna take directions from you again.
I mean, I told you when we started out that I was just as liable to be hurt as you guys. The alleys take from everyone. No one's truly safe here. But hey, you got all better than most people. A lot of people come out and they're a drooling mess of who they were before, and they can barely even tie their own shoes and feed themselves. So I'd like to think that not only did you get the better end of the stick, but the alley's with you at all times now. I thought it'd be pretty ironic if you sealed it with a kiss in the shadow and she becomes your shadow, but
Are
that's
you
just
are you giving me notes? Are you giving
I
me
so,
notes on
I'm just Vic has talked to me a lot about snakes up above and all of your works, and I just can't help it at this point. We kind of there's always pointers. There's a reason we're not writers.
yeah, if you're gonna
No,
take
of
two,
course.
then
Yeah.
Of course.
experiment with it.
We
Uh,
don't know what she gave up.
Do we
uh,
not?
no, yeah, right. Can we
Not
ask
Is
her
that
like, hey,
with the
not
what
perception
not
check?
the
Is that what
fully.
number?
we
We don't
overheard?
fully know what she gave up.
Did we
Yeah.
overhear what she gave up, or did we overhear what the when it was pulling and it was saying I'm sorry? What did we overhear with our perceptions?
You would have overheard everything, I think. Like,
Okay.
I think you would have a sense of what was given up, though to Ronnie's point, you don't know if there's anything additional that could have been
Yeah.
transferred.
Yeah. Um, well, I mean, I have an inkling of what was taken, and Ronnie, it was actually one of the spells I never could quite get. And I cast Prestidigitation to show, basically like a broken piece of floorboard on a ship or something, and then it
Sure.
closing back up.
Yeah, I know she gave mending, but I don't think that's all she gave. She left things in the alley. And my augury said that whatever choices we made in that alley was going to lead to one of us spilling our blood.
Well, as I kind of look around, it's probably still kind of night, but if the sun's starting to rise, like the day's young yet.
You can see, yeah, looking around, the sounds of the city is bustling off far in the distance. You can make out the sounds of sort of the clock towers gong ringing. It is 5 a.m. The sun is slowly starting to rise. And it dawns on all of you, pun intended, that you've not slept yet this evening. You feel the weight of fatigue fall upon all of you.
So a little bit of out of character moment. So are we supposed to meet somebody at noon today?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if that is the case,
Yeah.
and a long rest is 8 hours and it is 5 a.m., we are not getting a long rest.
I'm sure
Just,
that was unintentional.
I know, I understand. I wasn't saying that. I meant like in the sense of
What
is
a
our
jerk.
what is our plan of action and where do we want to go next?
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
go
With this
someplace
information.
safe and at least rest.
Can we do like a 6
Briefly.
hour rest? And do we know what part of the city we're currently in?
Looking around, you think that you are somewhere in Half Home. Kind of quickly trying to get a lay of the land. You can see as Amethyst Heights are far up above. But yeah, from where you're located, each of you can tell that, yeah, you're basically nearby Half Home or somewhere in Half Home. Yeah.
So who are we closest to, housing wise?
I'm in Half Home.
You go to your bachelor pad.
Slumber party at Vic's.
We cleaned it earlier. Otto and I, we just started
Yeah.
tidying a little bit, so it's
Did some
not. It's
prestidigitation.
better than what it was, I think.
And you know, they might look for me there. Looking at all of you, I don't think anyone who's looking for you all are gonna look for you there.
You could also stay with Fanny. Just putting that out there.
Fanny's at the church,
Which church?
St. Sebastian's.
Oh.
Is there a reason we can't stay at the church?
We could probably stay at the church.
I personally, I don't think that we should really be staying at any of our abodes because Pike seemed to know that we were going to be at the academy, so they have some sort of eyes on us, whether that be the shadows, whether that be the godforsaken crows that be everywhere, or, you know, maybe they could be Max and Maxine, who knows. But somebody knew we were there and made it a point to try to get rid of at least two of us. I'm still... Ronnie, I really do have a... Why would they want to capture you and not kill you like they do us? I could understand wanting to kill me. I can kind of understand wanting to kill
Otto,
Vic.
don't say that.
I've made a lot of bad decisions, and there's a lot of people who have been lost to time by my hand. So I can understand if I have some bad blood. But Vic is a model citizen, a constable of renown. I don't quite understand why they would want to put him down.
Yeah,
he's working for the
bizarre.
Maxes. He's basically their mule doing jobs for everybody. So I don't see why, unless
You're
they're trying
right.
to silence him.
Nobody would want to take out somebody who's working for the Maxes.
Unless I mean, if someone wants to get to them through me, it could be anything.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm tired. I'm too tired to really think right
this
now.
this is something that's very important, though. What did you? We're all under the understanding that he gave the blueprints for whatever this anti-magic machine is to the Maxes, correct? Yes.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Who gave you the package? I don't believe that we've ever quite addressed it.
Yeah.
Don't say Fanny, because we know that's not true. They're not love letters.
Yeah. He'll kind of look at
Because
all.
it couldn't have been, if you're working for the Maxes wouldn't have given you the blueprints because they would have had them. So that means there's another party that you're involved with. At least that's my assumption.
Yeah.
And they come from Lucas Seeley, the man who's dead. And I know I've been joking around saying, haha, it's been Vic, but Vic, you gotta be transparent with us here.
Yeah. I think Vic looks at all of you. It's like, well, I don't think we can get any deeper into it. These were given to me by the fellow who shot Lucas Seeley. A hitman named Legrand.
And what might
Okay.
Legrand have looked like? Anything like
No,
the
just
cloaked
wait.
figure
Just
in this?
everybody, just hold on for a second. So you knew who killed Lucas Seeley this whole time, and that is who we have been trying to investigate. But you knew who killed him.
Well, I don't know who hired him. Knowing Legrand killed him tells us very little.
Well,
Well,
it tells us more than
tells
we
us
had
something.
before,
Well,
Vic.
it gives
didn't-
us a spot to look.
Here's
I
the
mean,
thing.
we could sit there and have
Oh,
a
actually,
nice,
no, hold
polite
on. I should
conversation
clarify. I
with
should
Legrand
clarify.
to get all the information we need, but
I
instead we're
also,
jumping out of windows.
I
We're getting
assumed
death
that he
threats.
killed him.
Where
Right? I didn't actually see him shoot him. To be fair, I got to the scene. I got to the diner. Legrand was there. A dead body was there. Legrand gave me a package. I assume Legrand killed him. So I should clarify that as a guess on my part. But yeah, that is.
So Vic, out of all of the time that we've been spending, I like to think that we built up some camaraderie. We have some sort of bond that goes beyond drinking and talking about Cordelia's movies over a milkshake at the tavern. So you understand that Lucas Seeley was scared of the Maxes, owed them something, some blueprints, some plans. All of the lights start going out. We get ambushed. We have fear that there's anti-magic, and it never occurred to you to tell us that you were involved with the man who gave you the blueprints for the anti-magic that's going to kill off the sentience of Ali's End, potentially save a bunch of lives, but that's neither here nor there. But kill off Ali's End, and that just was information you thought to withhold from us. I understand why you're on the list now. You're on my list.
I just want to
Before we
punch
got
him.
to the hey, just to clarify, before we got to the university, we didn't know what the stakes were. All right, this was a dead guy.
The stakes we're on. They said we're on a list. Little crab apple who ran away, who you happen to let go of. I don't even know if you really let go of him now on purpose or accident. Was shown by the alley as one of the people that came in here, and that's associated with Pike and the people who told us at the very beginning of this ordeal that we're on a list to die.
Hey, I thought
your life is not a large enough stake to be.
I thought this was keeping us safer before. All right, this was people who talk about Legrand. They don't make it any farther in this world. I thought I might have been able to survive, but now I think we're all in the thick of it. I might have just put you in even more danger. I thought there was a chance that we could have gotten out of this. Right now, I don't know that there is.
Do you know what Legrand looks like? If he handed it to you, you surely looked at his face, looked at his body, looked at something of him.
I do know what he looks like. Jake, what does he look like?
Legrand is when you've connected with Legrand, Legrand is a very pale elf who is not nearly as tall as Carvis Pike, though they have a kind of a sort of a resemblance to one another, though Carvis Pike is much more like alarming in the way that he looks, like the way that he's much more spindly. Legrand is a little bit stockier. One thing you'll know about Legrand is you're sort of thinking about what does he look like, is you're also struck by like he seems to never smile and he never says anything to anyone.
So yeah, he's the tall, kind of pale elf, real quiet, not exactly a cheery guy, not someone that you want to rat out on.
You know that he's worked for the Maxes for a very long time.
He's another member of the Maxes network. And once we sort of figured out that, hey, the Maxes weren't the main ones in charge, or the Maxes probably didn't, go through all of this, I figured it was something different.
So if he's working for the Maxes, but he had the blueprints already, why give it to you and make you the middleman instead of just giving it to them himself?
He probably didn't want to be seen at the casino. Or I was being set up for something. Because when I got to the casino that night, there were a bunch of cops outside, and I figured walking in with that kind of contraband wasn't smart. I took it home, hid it away, decided to bring it in the next day. Now you know all I know. Okay, I got no more tricks up my sleeve.
Thank you for the unkindness, Vic. We'll do with that what we will. All right. Well, where are we off to?
No. Wait. And this was all very important, and I'm feeling
can we talk about
betrayal.
this?
I did keep an axe out of your back, Vic.
I appreciate that. Again, post-university, there wasn't a good time to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about this as we walk? Because it's
As
Yeah,
we
let's
walk,
do a walk,
sure, but
yes.
I would like to return to the fact that Miss Falls, I don't think you ever answered Otto's question.
She didn't.
But we've learned a lot about Vic, so I don't mind that we followed a different line of questioning, but I do think it's your turn, dear. Why are you on a capture list and not a kill list?
An excellent question. I don't have that answer. I don't know
Insight
why.
check her.
Sure.
Yeah, let's
She's
do it.
telling the truth. Feel free. have the best one. Go ahead.
That is a 9 plus 6 for a 15.
Good.
I get the sense that she's telling the truth.
She sure is.
Yeah.
Just like,
I had to roll for confirmation, you know?
yeah, I get it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
What is
You-
there anything about you that could be standing out, or anything that might be unusual here for Ebonreach that would make you a valuable asset to the people that want to kill Vic and I, but keep you alive? Anything at all?
I am not anybody. I am a low-level private investigator. I'm a widow. I hang out with a flamboyant movie lover who never files my paperwork correctly. I barely talk to my extended family. I don't know why they would just want to capture me.
You were on their first list is the thing that I keep coming back to. Like when they came for us at the diner, you were on that list. So what
Wait.
got you on their radar in the first place?
Maybe they
Well-
want to know where Fanny is.
Well, does the list necessarily have to be about killing us? Because the names were on a list, but they didn't say what the list was for.
Did it say kill these people at the
I
top
think
of the
it was a
list?
kill list, but I
It
think the
was,
one thing
okay.
that's
You were on
changed.
the list, but
Was it actually like a kill list, or did they not say what it was?
I don't think
Did
they
they say
said.
it's like a list and then there were names on it
yeah.
of people? I don't think they said it was a kill list. I think for Vic and I, we knew that they were trying to kill us,
Hmm.
but they didn't really go much beyond like what the specifics are, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
GM.
I thought it was a list
But
of people to kill, but I could be misremembering.
Yeah. I think that you guys have made some assumptions about it being like you didn't get details of like kill them all, right? You know that they were a list, and you know that some of you were going to be killed. You are posing, I think, an interesting question though, which is that the redcoats were like, you are all on a list, and you've made sort of this assumption like, okay, they're going after us. And then when you get more information, you're like, okay, Ronnie is Cordelia's leave alone, and Ronnie is capture. Yeah.
Yeah. But so like my question is like if Ronnie were on that first list, that means that you were already on their radar before you were involved with all of these shenanigans.
Oh, that is a
Right?
good point. That's a very good point.
So it's not just like you've been running around with the other people on the list and they were like, oh, let's grab that one too. We might as well.
It is.
Well, isn't oh, my bad. I was gonna say, by my recollection, Ronnie is. Is there a reason you don't want us to go? You seem very hesitant about us going to the church, but that's all. You're also the only one that's gone there and talked to the priest about the body and the gentle repose and everything. I don't think any of us have
Well,
gone there. So, is there a reason you'd rather us be at Vic's house?
well, seeing my brother-in-law makes me think of my dead wife, which is not super fun for me as a person.
That's
But also-
understandable.
But also, frankly, I don't trust the Archbishop. I don't know, he's setting off my radar.
The Archbishop. I don't. Who's the Archbishop? What's
Yeah, I'm not religious
what's
either. I
about
don't
him?
know what this means.
You would have
They
all.
only know
You,
it's
well,
not-
as you,
He's the one that did the he was the one that was working with the body.
Yeah, you actually all know that like as you kind of pose like, okay, who is this person?
Yeah.
You all know of Archbishop Frost. Archbishop
Oh,
Frost has been kind of a vocal figure uh in Ebonreach, right? Is basically the Archbishop of St. Sebastian's Church, helps manage other clergies and other spaces that are happening around Ebonreach and a little bit beyond. Um, Gives regular lectures that very few people attend at Curio University. And you also know that like uh, Archbishop Frost a good long while back was sort of there was some notoriety around Frost, um, in that Frost was kind of back when Weird Studios was first picking up and a lot of like technology was coming into the city. Frost was like, we should be pretty careful about this. So like Frost was kind of a vocal person against like, why are we leaning so deeply into Arcana tech?
Okay.
wait. Hey, any chance Archbishop Frost is this AF? He worked at the university, right? What
AF
Yeah.
professor?
Archbishop Frost.
Yeah.
So I feel like the church might not be as good of an idea anymore. But I agree, my place might be sketchy. Um, Jake, any chance I know just like a cash hotel nearby, like something
course.
that could,
A
yeah,
pay by the hour.
exactly that kind of place.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah. How about we just we crash at the Daffodil?
Sounds charming.
Oh, it's a lovely little place. Uh, yeah, and they are very cheap and they don't ask questions, which is the main things that we need.
Yeah, you know that the Daffodil is not too far away, right? For a little while they were trying to do like a couple of different like promotional ad campaigns and have failed miserably at all of them. And you know one of them was the Pedal Pub, and they were just like here and there was a big flower and no one here in Ebonreach was like really into that sort of vibe. Uh and so you know that they basically have been just like going downhill and will take money and never ask you a single question. And the rooms, shockingly nice, like shockingly pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
Strangely, daffodils mean new beginnings in the language of flowers. So rebirth is what we're all looking for currently.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll head over to the Daffodil. Yeah, it's just like about a couple blocks away here.
You all make your way over. You see that this is just like the most run of the mill looking building amidst the rest of them. It almost blends in, save for what appears to be a three-quarters done mural on the front of the building up near the top of what looks to be like three-quarters of a large flower that has been not finished for years. As you're even looking at it, it's like this was done probably like 10 years ago and has never gotten off the ground. As you wander in, you see as the innkeeper, he sort of looks up at you and is just like, how many rooms?
4, 2, 2.
So
All
we
right.
should stay closer together.
No, sure. That yeah, if you got 2 next to each other, that'd be great.
Perfect. Yep. All right. Pulls 2 keys right off the wall, slides them across. You see that most of the keys are still hanging on the hooks. Maybe one or other 2 others are actually let out at this point in time. Right. Yeah. Enjoy. Pay when you leave.
Great, great. Um, yeah, head up to the rooms.
Jake, is there anywhere nearby that I can stop and purchase incense?
Yeah. If you want to, you can pop out and purchase incense. If
Yeah,
you.
I'd like to pop out and buy 10 GP worth of incense and have Nimbus come back to me. I'm gonna go. Now, Nimbus, I know you're not gonna like it. You always, stop it. I don't need the back and forth at the moment, but I know you love your wings. I know you love to fly. We're going to be staying here. Things are getting kind of hot. I'm gonna need you to change your form just for a night, and then or 20 GP worth of incense. I gotta do this twice, just for the night, so that way you can keep an eye on us and be a bit more inconspicuous. Um, and you're gonna, I imagine Nimbus just like screaming back at me. He's not talking.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, he would be talking, he's mimicking me, so it's my voice back at me, trying like debate. And I'm gonna go, at the end of the day, you owe me one. Well, you owe me a life, but that's neither here nor there. You're like a son to me. Now,
At the end of the day, you owe me one.
all right, I understand. I'll make sure that I give you extra. What is it that you like again? You're not really a nut guy. You know, you don't really like rats. They get in your feathers, and you got to prune yourself.
Tributes. Tribute.
I'll give you 4 tributes for the 2 nights. Deal. And I put my hand out and I shake his wing. But I'm gonna cast Find Familiar, and I'm going to change his form into a spider, and then I'm going to have him and say, now all you need to do is go set up in the corner right outside of in the hallway, and just keep an eye on things for us.
You see, is just as you see, Nimbus just sort of scuttle up to the wall, and if a spider could frown, this spider is frowning at you.
How large of a spider is this?
Yeah.
They're
good
small.
question.
They are considered. I think they're considered tiny in the stat block.
Sure, but is
me
this
see.
like
Like
a
little daddy long
Yeah,
leg.
you can
like
make a
a- or is it
tarantula
or is
no,
it like
no,
a
like, this is-
tarantula?
This is like a banana spider-esque, like in the corner, and if you ever, it's like probably the size of me, Caleb, my actual hand,
Terrific.
Oh.
just in
That
the
is
corner.
a large
Yeah,
spider.
that's
As spiders go,
Yeah.
that's a biggin.
He do be big. Look, I had to make compromises, okay?
Sure.
If he can't have his
Yeah.
wingspan, he gotta at least have like the leg span, like the leg.
Doing
length.
great.
You see as Nimbus like crawls up to this corner where there was another little spider hanging up there, and you see kind of if a little spider was just like, nope, I'm good. Just immediately ditches the web and gets out of there.
It's just like
and
my
Nimbus sort of
bad, and just come back.
parks up there and just splays out, sitting there, fully surveying with all 8 eyes.
It's a pleasure. Now and then I have to sit there. I'm in my room. Like, I don't even know what to give him as tribute. Like I've given him everything. He doesn't
That's right.
He doesn't want coins anymore. He doesn't like nuts. He doesn't like. He's moved beyond bird items. He's not just shiny. He's
And he's
What's the
normally a bird.
yeah. Normally he's a bird. Yeah. Normally he's just a raven at all times. That's what he was when I bound him as my familiar. But when you're in the industry like Otto is, you sometimes got to have different forms for different things. Should have seen the time when he was an octopus and I had him swim up somebody's drain pipe so they can get him when they were in the bathroom. Now
Pretty
that
excellent.
No.
you ever seen it? You ever seen a Goliath shriek like a girl? Probably not.
So, you all have made your way into your 2 rooms here. You see that there's a little chocolate sitting on the pillow. As you all make your way in, you have an opportunity to rest and connect or to just pass your time here. What do you all get up to?
Before we separate, I'll give Cordelia back her encoded memory.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know if I remember giving it to you. So
Yeah, no, that's very much so. Yeah. I was like,
you
hey,
just go to grab my head wordlessly and it's like, what are you doing?
No, I've got it like in my pocket. It's like a silver strand. It's like, hey, this was memory of yours. And I'll kind of hand it back to you. And as it like goes into your hand, I think it's just like I'll cast it to activate it and it disappears into you. And then you get whatever message you sent yourself. It's not like a full memory, but you can at least have like a memory of you telling yourself about a memory. And then I'm gonna go to bed.
I'll thank you before you
Yeah.
go. And say we're all even for the whole axe thing. Just stop being so insidious, okay?
Hey, what does insidious mean?
All
No,
right.
it's not worth it. I'm going to bed.
I think it means when you live inside of the city and you're up to some no good tendencies.
I'm just gonna go straight into the room.
I'm yeah. I go to bed. It is nap time.
Otto?
I'm gonna do the same thing. So, is there a window in the room?
Yes.
Where is it in reference to like the door? So I know there's a door in here, obviously. There's one window, multiple windows.
One window. If you wanted to like secure it or do anything to sort of
I'm just gonna tell Nimbus, I'm gonna open the window. I'm gonna go, actually perch outside of the window, somewhere out there where you can just keep an eye on it. And then I'm going to, if there's two beds in here, I'll push one of them against the door.
Yep.
Actually, that is an important question. There are two beds in there. I don't know what kind of
No,
show.
is there only one bed?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
There's a single bed.
Well, I'm no stranger to sleeping on the floor. If you'd like the bed, feel
Shouldn't
free.
matter.
Hey,
We're
Yeah,
sleeping. Who
yeah,
cares?
I'm bunked up. It's I grew up in the
Yep.
army. We slept all in a row together. It's fine.
Yeah, well, I'm going to sleep on the opposite side of the room with my back to the wall and just kind of sit down and keep my head straight towards the door when I go to bed.
Given the opportunity, Vic takes up the entire bed.
I'm a dockside gal, so I'm gonna do like a vague approximation of what Otto's done because I've been taught to do that, but it's bad. So it's like moving a single chair in front of the door and being like, there we go.
That's good.
That's
Got
good.
it.
That's fine.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, and then I will kind of awkwardly climb into the bed and yeah. Back to you pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah.
If you've already passed out, like I'm just
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna quietly eat the chocolate that was on the pillowcase. I'll save you half, and then I
Very
will.
sweet of you.
And I'll just.
You all sleep, and now is the crux of this question. Do you choose to take a long rest?
Otto personally cannot take a long rest because he knows Corvus Pike or Carvis
Harvest.
Carvis Pike he's supposed to be somewhere at noon, and Otto is going to be there. Like he can't afford to take that long rest. He needs to see what's happening. And I gotta be within 100 feet of my familiar to actually see through it, so I can't just set
you
it
can't
off to
just
give me
watch from here.
information. Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be good probably to stick together. So I think maybe short rest.
Yeah.
From a character perspective, Otto has literally, aside from like not sleeping, he has full spells. He has all of his spell slots. He has everything about him, all hit points. But from like a player perspective, if we don't rest, we end up with fatigue, I think.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I hope we can get like enough to not get fatigue, even if we don't get everything back.
Yeah, I got one new spell slot by doing the little warlock pact, but I'm down to just that and one other. Like I'm pretty cooked right now.
So if we take a long rest, what do we miss?
We miss the meeting at noon with Corvus, where Carvis Pike is going to be.
Are we supposed? We weren't. Please refresh my memory. We're not supposed to be meeting with him. This is like we know where he's going to be meeting, and we were going to go.
I just realized something. Otto's going to dig deep before we go to bed, and he's going to connect to all three of you because I think it's probably, I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit prior to you walking into your rooms because I need to see you. I'll connect with you but not say anything. And then I am going to, for Vic, I'm still smoking the pipe. I blow it out and I say, I kind of let you all know what happened with Pike after him being thrown out the window and him hitting the floor. And for Vic, I recreated with the smoke. So he gets to see, and Otto's obviously going to be more upset. He's like, so about tomorrow, I understand that Garvis Pike is supposed to be meeting with somebody, probably this AF, and if we think it's Archbishop Frost, then perhaps the church is where we could have gone to keep an eye on things, but in the matter of safety, this makes sense where we are. But right after throwing him out of the window and trying to strangle the life out of him and driving my foot through his chest, he said he cannot die. He has power over life and death, or some other such cliche nonsense, and dissipated into a puddle of water beneath my boot. So if he's still supposed to be at this meeting, then we should probably understand what is happening. Because you don't just let a man like Corvus Pike go out and roam the streets of Dockside freely, lest you end up with a knife in your back.
Yeah, Vic, after hearing this, kind of looks at Otto. Hey, I don't know if this guy is really immune to death, but we can certainly put that to the test.
Well, if we get there and he's not there, then you're probably correct. But he seemed pretty immune to me when my foot went through his chest.
Well, it might have been, that wasn't the real one. It was a fake one. It could have been a spell on him. We'll see how many times he can get away with that trick.
There, so Ronnie is hearing this, right? And Cordelia is hearing this as well.
Yes. Vic's the only one that got the visual aspect.
Yeah. Ronnie, make a knowledge religion check.
Very good at that.
Said he couldn't be killed. Maybe he was right.
I got an
Maybe
18 plus
the ghost with an
9.
ego problem.
You know that there are very specific. You've heard of magics, at least, that can give someone sort of a power over death, but only temporarily.
There's definitely spells that could do that, but it doesn't last forever.
Ronnie, you during this time can complete an identify spell because you had mentioned that as well on that scroll.
Great. Is it Arcana?
This scroll is not your identify is going to work on this scroll. This scroll is not like in a category where it's near the tier of your identify spell enough so that you're not going to have to make a roll on this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Unlike the other one. The other one, the Kiss in the Shadows scroll is one that you were forced to make a roll given the potential strength of the scroll. You may make your identify check here, and you see that this scroll is a scroll of locate creature.
Interesting. Okay. I tell everybody that.
Now, is locate creature, is there a different spell for locate person? Is that a different spell?
No, I think so.
No, they're the same.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
So is Carve a Spike considered a creature in this case?
I mean,
'Cause I have
if it's the same, then
It's
yeah.
the same spell. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's really going to help right now, but I do have Corvus's cloak if we would like to use that as a medium to try to locate and see where he is, or perhaps we can get that extra hour of rest so that way we're not fatigued, and then we can try it then to find out where he went. We'd miss the information that of whatever who he's meeting up with. But if we can put him in the ground for good, then I suggest we do, because then maybe AF loses his friend.
So
I've also got his axe.
At this point, is it like 6 hours that we could get before?
Yep.
Yeah.
May I argue that generally, when you take a long rest, you set up a watch system where everybody takes 2 hours and you still get your long rest, which means everyone gets 6 hours of rest. And if we do not set up a watch system,
it is
still
not
get the same amount of
it is not a theory of sleep in long rests. It is based upon downtime. So it assumes you are not always asleep. It assumes that you've taken the amount of time necessary, which is why watches work. You are sort of sitting around. Yeah.
I was ready to try to roll persuade on the DM. I'm ready for it.
If we can get 6 hours now and then like 2 hours of kind of chilling.
And then like maybe we just go take a little disco nap later and it'll be fine.
We can do like polyphasic sleeping.
We also, I fully get not wanting to split, so we can absolutely still stick together, but I do think I'm supposed to go to Weird Studios sometime today. That was also like on my radar of notes of things I'm supposed to do. So we could always do like 2 and 2, and anybody who needs to like take a long rest can hang out with me. And go to Weird Studios, and then the other 2 could go kind of see what's happening with the park meeting.
Do we want to be awesome for Jake and split the party.
I
I
mean,
feel
makes
like
sense.
if that's the case, whoever goes, I mean, Otto definitely, and whoever goes with him will be fatigued because we will not be getting 8 hours unless we do unless we're going with the locate creature strategy.
Yeah.
And we kind of we miss that information. Honestly, I'm down for splitting us and then going, killing Pike and getting information from him by interrogating him, and then
we also don't necessarily have to kill Pike in this meeting because they're meeting in a public park. So we could just listen to what they're saying.
I will. I would most. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
Otto puts his hand on his shoulder. He
him.
goes, "I'm going to kill him.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him so hard.
I'm gonna kill him so hard he wishes he's dead."
Good.
That was a good threat.
Really good. Really good. Is it boys are going to that meeting, ladies are going to the studio? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, I imagine I would not be very helpful at the studio, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I have a face.
You did so well posing as a cameraman.
I mean, I think I might have missed my calling, but that might not hold up to any more detailed scrutiny.
Yeah. No, that split makes sense to me.
All right. Well, then Ronnie's asleep.
Yeah,
she's taking a
full
rest.
Your plan being in set, Vic and Otto will be waking up in approximately 6 hours.
Well, hold on, Vic. Are we doing it to where we're just going we get our full 8 hours in, so we get the long rest and then just do locate creature? Or are we trying to hold on to the locate creature skull for something else?
I think we need to be there for the meeting because we want to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah, who he's meeting with.
And you all rest in this moment.
I have to wake up an hour before Vic so I can turn Nimbus back into a raven because it takes an hour to do the ritual to cast the spell.
Otto, it is rough. You are not feeling great.
This is how you want to fight your nemesis? Okay.
He wasn't better than me at my best. He's probably going to be just as bad at my worst. So.
Okay.
That seems normal.
Okay, great.
So people recognize Nimbus. If they see him out there, that's a giveaway to where I am, which tells where you guys are. So really, I'm fatigued for you guys.
Oh,
it's very kind.
Yeah.
Very, very self-sacrificing.
We love it.
So how this works is you two, as we're going to go into a pause here for a minute, but as you two are getting ready to wake up, you will have a level of exhaustion in 2024 rules that is different than the old rules. How this works is that when you make any sort of D20 check, your roll is reduced by 2 times your exhaustion level. So in this case, you are exhausted level 1, so every one of your rolls is reduced by 2.
You know what? That's better than disadvantage.
Yeah, honestly, is not as bad.
But
that is not bad.
That's -2 to attack rolls, to saving throws. With the old rules, it was just ability checks that were level 1.
Yeah.
Well, exhaustion is only ability checks for 2024, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, level 1 is only ability checks. Or is the saying was? No, I think I'm looking at 2014. You're right.
Yeah, it's D20 tests. So it's
I got you.
Yep. Your speed is also reduced by 5 times your level of exhaustion, which we aren't using a battle map very much, but you are lethargic as you all wake up.
Dragging yourself.
But we're going to take a little bit of a pause here. So, yeah, we'll pause for a second.
Great.
A little bit of a theory crafting I want to talk to you guys about.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So we'll be back. Okay. I love the scheming. We're coming out of break with coming up with some pretty schemy ideas here and a lot of assumptions about who our villains are, among other things. Welcome back. As Otto and Vic, you wake up tired and lethargic. You set out to go towards Ashwarn Park, where the ship in the bottle is.
Prior to leaving, I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna talk to. I'm gonna see after I do the whole find familiar change back to a raven for Nimbus. I am gonna sit there and look at some of the other ravens. I'm gonna go. Now listen up, you lord. I have an unkindness for you to give to the little royal rascals.
Ah.
I need 2 of them to meet us and Spire Heights, and Nimbus will probably direct them once they get closer to us. And the other 2 should make their way over to Weird Studios and assist. There's going to be a Detective Ronnie and one Cordelia Claremont. Matter of fact, tell Darla this might be her chance to make it onto the big screen like she's always wanted. But yeah, just tell them to be there within the next Weird Studios. Is it 3 hours? Because we're 2 hours earlier than Ronnie
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Cordelia.
yeah.
And I'm up an hour earlier to make sure this gets out. So
Yeah.
in 3 hours, Darla and another one need to be at Weird Studios. And in an hour, they need to be in Spire Heights with us. The other
Okay.
2.
Great. Awesome. You too, lethargic, feeling the weight of exhaustion on you, though, knowing you want to arrive to this appointment with Carvis Pike, you set out. You make your way over towards Ashbourne Park, where you can see that Ashbourne Park is just a wide a field, but in the center of the field you see a towering, unlike Half Home and in Dockside where things are cramped and tight. Spire Heights buildings have space. There's sprawling greenery everywhere. You can see as even though the ash seems to drift down from the smog and haze above, it is clearer here. There are rarely glimpses of blue sky. And as you arrived at noon to the space, you see the towering shape of a ship in a bottle, crafted from a real ship that was once docked in Dockside. You see as it has now been magically shoved and then re-enlarged into a huge glass bottle at the center of this park. As you two arrive here, you looking on, give for me, if you want, or think about this for a second while I describe Ronnie and Cordelia. How are you going to approach? Are you going to try to go kind of stealthily, or what's your approach here in a moment? And feel free to just sort of chat with each other. And I'm going to come back to you in a second. As Cordelia and Ronnie, you wake up maybe an hour later or 2 hours later, and you head off towards Weird Studios.
Can I add like a little flavor note, just really, really quick? I want to make sure that I wake up before Ronnie does, to make sure that I wake up and, you know, my face is right. It's the right face. It's Cordelia's face and not Cora's. And I want to do that before you see anything.
Okay.
There's a little self-consciousness.
You wake up and manage to sort of quickly cast the spell as Ronnie, you wake as well, and you two getting up start to migrate and travel over towards Weird Studios. In terms of distance, you'll get to Weird Studios right around the same time your colleagues are getting to Ashbourne Park. And so timing-wise, things will be playing out very much at the same amount of time here. As you draw closer, you are how do you want to get there? Cab, or do you want to call for a car? I'm just checking for you two. The other two, I'm a little bit more loose.
You are, I mean, last time you showed up in a cab, it became
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, it became a thing. I think we'll call a car, and the extra reason why I want to is that I know that I was the only person who was named at the university. And so I don't mind if I'm seen getting out of a motel with a pretty lady. I couldn't have been at the university if I was in a motel with a pretty lady. So yeah, I'll call a car. And I will sling my arm through yours as if we've just had
Did you also tip off the press?
Yeah, I can if I should. Yeah.
I mean, if we do it that way, then I mean, like you said, you couldn't have been at the university.
Yeah.
You were here.
Yeah, sure.
We should maybe also like charm / tip the front desk guy to say that we were here.
Yeah.
Great
all right.
publicity for Daffodil.
With almost
movie stars
no No effort needed. You see is this guy who you see the morning shift is this sort of a gangly teenager, and as you both just walk down, goes Cordelia Claremont. Uh, whatever you say, I'll say it.
The room was lovely. It was lovely. You were lovely.
All right, everything was lovely. Thanks. Goodbye.
Yeah,
And
so
you
that there's
two
some photos that we
Yeah.
have plausible
emerge
deniability.
to immediately photos going off. The press have arrived to seek you out, and you jump in a car that you've called, and you make your way over. It is easy for you to just call the car yourself in this moment. You make your way over to Weird Studios. Vic and Otto, how do you want to approach?
So I got a question. So since it's Spire Heights and it's kind of like the ritzy kind of area, um, I imagine, is there like can you just walk in? Is there anything we have to pass through? Is there like,
No, you can walk in.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I say first, I'm going to press the digitation, everything that we're wearing, just to make sure that it's nice and clean. There's no scuff, no dirt. I'm even going to keep the my coat that I normally wear. I actually have off. I'm going to wear the red coat, just because no one's really gonna. If if they see a red coat in the distance with a silhouette, they might just think it's somebody that's part of whatever the crimson smudges are.
Yeah.
But as I want to, well, Vic, should we? I guess. Who are you sending with us out of the four royal rascals? Because that kind of determines.
You can decide what roles the
Okay.
two rascals have.
Okay, I got you. Vic, how do you want to go there? I know we kind of want to stealth because we're gonna. Do we do rooftop? Do we go alleys?
I mean, I'm not gonna be great jumping from rooftops. We can.
You
The problem is,
voluntarily choosing alleys again?
well, I mean, we can get there pretty directly. We can, take a
Mhm.
take a subway to get towards the park. The problem is the park is a big open space. I don't think we're gonna be able to get close
The other
without being
problem is
seen.
it's Carvis Pike and he has his gang and people that are watching everything. Because I imagine a meeting like this, Carvis isn't just going to be alone without having eyes
Yeah.
trying to, you know, safeguard what's going on. He already knows the Maxes don't like him. And if they're aware that there's a meeting or something like this going on, they might send somebody to do something to him. They might even send, what's his name? The guy that shot
Legrand.
Luca Sealy. Yeah, Legrand,
Arriving here, you are kind of looking around, and you're getting near the edge of the park here. You can see that there are people out enjoying themselves. There are kite flyers, people picnicking in this space. What you see, though, is nearby the ship in the bottle for but a moment. Because you're trying to look for kind of things that are out of the ordinary here, you can see a tall, hulking figure leaning by the ship in the bottle in this moment. And you see a couple other figures sort of milling around uh, nearby there, probably only within about 30-ish feet from that taller figure. But as you look, you two can determine sort of how do you want to get up there and approach, right? You think from a distance, no one's going to immediately clock you. It's as you get closer. But if you choose to make a distraction or draw closer in some way, then we can deal with that.
Vic should take his name tag off.
That's yeah, that.
Definitely take that name tag off.
I mean, if we can have, Nimbus get up a little bit closer to be able to maybe hear this conversation, that's good. I don't know. The advantage of being here is any of his, goons or ragamuffins, they're gonna have to keep moving because if they stay still, somebody's gonna say, "Hey, what's this shady character doing here in the park?"
Yeah, you have a good point. Are there kids that go to the ship in the bottle? Is the ship in the bottle a bar? What is it?
Ship bottle is a statue.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a
like
statue?
a literal giant chip in the bottle.
Okay. And are there kids outside here at this park?
Oh yeah, there's a playground.
Okay.
Kids are sliding, having a great
I
time.
gotcha. So the two that came with us are going to be Reeve Calloway. It's what Otto calls him, the little ghost.
Yep.
He's the one that he fancies himself a thief. Like if he's trying to become a rogue, thief is what his goal is.
Yeah.
And then there's Kess Trenlow. They call her the Tiptoe Terror, but that's not because she wants to steal or anything. She just likes sneaking up on people and like whispering advice in their ear. She's kind of more of a um oh, what? I think Arcane Trickster Rogue would be what she's kind
Yeah.
of going for. With the other two going with Ronnie and Cordelia, which I'll just tell you now are Darla Skane. She's the Mistress of Mayhem. She's like the mastermind, I guess you'd call them rogue. Or
Yeah.
in 2024, I believe it's the investigative, whatever the one that has Inquisitive fight her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kip Mulligan goes with them, and he's more of a fighter. He's Kip the Crate Smasher because he's clumsy. He crushes things. He's kind of like he's strong, but not that coordinated. So can I have Reeve and Cass that are with us go and play near the ship in the bottle in Ear Hustle?
Oh yeah.
And then I'll send Nimbus to kind of like fly up ahead and keep an eye on not just them, but primarily Pike.
Great.
And
Yeah,
I'm gonna go around
any
the corner.
sort of like elevated position where I can kind of look down if there's a building or even like a hill in this park. I'm going to try and be a distance away, but have a good line of sight on them and like an exit to the park.
You will get in position for this conversation as you're getting ready to, so you'll be able to sort of start to eavesdrop a little bit.
As part of my hide, I want to go around the corner and like sit down and kind of put my other coat on me like I'm a beggar and put my head down and put my senses through Nimbus so I can see and hear through him.
Great.
Can you also like psychically connect us?
Oh, I can. Yeah.
Are we already connected?
It's only within
like the kids and us.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm just a hub. I'm basically a router.
You all you arrive there. You all are setting yourselves up, and as you're watching, you see as you get a little bit closer and sort of are getting yourselves in position. Otto or Vic, you're up on a hill, but you're not that far away. You're probably only about like 100-ish feet away from the ship in the bottle and the exchange that's happening here. Otto, you're sticking a little bit more of a distance away at this point, like 150 feet, hanging out near maybe the back end of the ship of the bottle and watching the exchange that's happening near where the funnel of the bottle is, so the top of the bottle. As you see Harvest Pike, who you can kind of make out at this point, just milling there, and the figures start to walk very slowly up the hill towards Carvis Pike. Hood and cloak, very beige looking, kind of like bland coloration to them as they walk very slowly but purposefully up towards the bottle. As you see them approaching, we cut briefly to Cordelia and Ronnie. You ride in your car together and arrive to the gates of Weird Studio, where two security step forward, tapping on the window. You see as your window gets rolled down, Cordelia. The driver has done this before and rolls your window down in this moment. They look at you and they're sort of they look at you almost a little confusedly in this moment.
Hello, boys. Good morning. What's the matter?
Nothing. No, sorry. Stars are weird. Actors are weird.
Joe, I've been seeing you for months now, every morning. Come on. What's that supposed to mean?
Is this a joke? I saw you like 30 minutes ago.
You know, it's been a long couple of days of shooting, Joe, and yes, it is a joke. It's just a little one, just a tiny one to keep things fresh, you know, having to come back in here day after day. It's so tiresome. So I thought we'd brighten things up just a little bit. And you know, I'm not on the screen today, so I had a bit of a wild night with this lovely lady over here. So I'm a little wobbly today, just
Pretty
feeling
name.
studious. Yeah.
Well, cool. Glad it was a joke. Let her in. and you see as the gates open up, you are brought in into Weird Studios. Your car immediately kind of drives, and you have a choice here. You both have a choice here. You can either go towards stage and where the set is, or you can make your way towards where like Mickey and kind of like all the administration would be at this point.
I'll turn to Ronnie.
Who's drawing her gun.
Oh.
I'm prepped. They said you're already in there.
Yeah, sure, but this is also my place of work. I just can't
I
bring
can be
in a woman and
I
then
can be
we're all
discreet.
done. Okay.
It's just ready.
All right. Well, as I see it, we kind of have two ways that we can go about this. You can either continue to be my +1. Damon does it all the time. He's bringing men and women onto the set constantly, so no one's going to say anything, but you'd have to pretend like you could stand me for 10 minutes. Or we could part ways. You could snoop around, and I can go talk to Mickey.
What would you be more comfortable with?
I've already made the mistake of flirting with you once, detective, and it didn't go particularly well, so I think I'll let you decide how comfortable you feel with that sort of charade for today. I don't want to overstep.
Not worried about the charade. I'm asking how safe you feel.
Miss Falls, I woke up this morning with 2 shadows. Frankly, I don't know what I can do and what I cannot do, but I do know that I can talk to people. So you don't have to worry about my safety. I think Mickey's probably all right.
I'll stay. Just if there's somebody in there who is pretending to be you and you show up in the same space, I don't think that it's going to go well in general.
Fair enough.
So which one? Studio or the administration?
I think I would go to talk to Mickey. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Mickey, would be in administration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go be on set. That would be like doing his job. That'd be crazy.
Turning, the car pulls away. It's not very far from studio, but you pull to the side. You both can get out, and you see the building of the administration before you. Stepping forward, security guards sort of look at you curiously, but otherwise just sort of gesture you in this moment, and you both stride into administration. You can make your way. You know where Mickey's office is, should you choose to go there.
Yeah. So I know that some of Otto's kids are with us.
Yeah.
Are they like with us, or just like kind of chilling in the background? Like, do we need to be like, and this is why we have kids in this adult workspace?
You haven't been really approached about that yet. You think the kids are good enough that they can kind of stay quiet, following you here.
Yeah, then I will loop my arm through Ronnie's and say, you could at least give a smile, and start kind of walking towards Mickey's office.
Walking towards Mickey's office, you see that Mickey's office door is, you see like a sign on it that says back for lunch, be back in 5 minutes. And nearby is Mickey's office. You see just down the hallway there, you see the producer, their office is there as well. Should you choose to, that door you can see is just sort of sitting there. Lights are off in that room. What would you like to do?
The producer's not in the room, or is?
No, yeah, their lights are off. You think that they're not there.
Did you get a note about being here?
No, I'm just meant to come in today. It is my workplace. And I figured there was all of this talk with the Maxes about who's investing in my film. And there was that note in Luca's office about the premiere being a disaster. And I just need to figure out one, if I can trust Mickey, and two, if he knows what's going on.
Well, we can look in his office.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Checking Mickey's door, you see that it is locked.
I do have a lockpick.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do. So make a sleight of hand, and while you are, Vic and Otto make perception checks.
Minus
Right.
2.
-2.
That was a
Back
nat
for me?
20. So
Yeah, girl.
26.
Not the first time you've picked a lock.
15
No.
minus 2 plus
13.
6
Okay.
is 19.
19. Vic,
Oh, I got a 9.
9. You hear the door open up, and you can make your way into Mickey's office. At the same time, you, Vic and Otto, Otto in particular, you hearing in this moment. Vic, you're sort of more seeing in this moment, but not really hearing what's going on as the two figures draw close to one another. As Otto, you hear a
Via
muffled.
Nimbus, by the way, because Otto as a person is blind and deafened right now, but he can hear through.
Perfect. Through Nimbus,
Mhm.
you hear Carvis Pike. Have you gotten what I've asked you to get done? And you hear as Carvis Pike just sort of lumbers and goes, I haven't yet. They escaped me and are more formidable than I expected. You see a flash of magic, Vic, and you hear the quick arcane chanting of something, or not arcane, but some sort of spell casting chanting coming from the figure. And you see as Carvis Pike suddenly stiffens in pain and sort of goes rigid. Please, give me another chance. I just need your powers again. Give me the power over life and death, and I'll make this right. He suddenly loosens for a second. Cordelia and Ronnie, you are in Mickey's office.
I would love to do an investigation.
Okay, go for it.
Same.
23, please.
23.
9.
And a 9.
It's okay. You got us in here.
Yeah,
That
thank
was
you. Thanks.
just because it's important.
Awesome, perfect. You begin your investigation, and Ronnie, you are so good at it. Is there anything you're specifically looking for?
I mean, honestly, I think anything that's like that would be out of place. Like, I think I'm pretty, having investigated for a long time, I feel like I would know the like common places that people think are so sneaky to hide things, you know, like, and so I think I would be checking all of that stuff first.
Yeah, for sure. Quickly searching around. With your 20, Cordelia, you aren't really seeing any of the secret stuff, but what you do see is that Mickey has a book, like a large sort of like ledger sitting, and you know this is Mickey's accounts book. Accounts and sort of like deals book. So basically the book that Mickey uses to manage all of anyone he is an agent for. Yeah. You begin to look around, Ronnie, as well, and you hear like a switch as you're starting to open what is like a secret hatch on the desk itself. Ronnie, I need some sort of sleight of hand check from you. Cordelia, do you want to look in that book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
21.
21. The hatch opens up as Cordelia, you start to flip over. Who do you look? You're seeing a bunch of different names. Mickey's an agent for a number of people.
I want to look for Fanny first.
Okay. Fanny, you are looking. Fanny is not in here.
Good. Okay.
Awesome. You continue to flip. Is there anyone else you're looking for?
Myself.
Yeah. You flip to yourself here. As Vic and Otto, you hear Carvis Pike go again, just sort of rigid. Suddenly the magic seems to cease and stop in this second. And you, Vic, from a distance, sort of see that the hand that's reaching out in this moment is sort of like more gnarled and resembles the hand that Vale had just shown you in this. Uh, Otto, you are spotting this as well through Nimbus. There's a lot riding on this pike. We have to save this city. You have to save this city. For one more time, will you be unkillable? Bring me their heads. And you see as the hand reaches forward again, is snapping a finger before. Oh, it seems we have company.
In that moment when because I imagine that I've heard this,
Yep.
I have the two kids in my head. I say, it's time for you to make a rather hasty exit, but don't be obvious about it.
Vic, you are watching as you see the two kids peel away. You see as Chief Inspector Solara and
No.
constables are walking up the hill.
Towards me?
Nope.
Oh no, towards that. Yeah.
Towards Pike and the figure. In this moment.
Okay.
Do you do anything?
I want to see how this plays out. I don't know.
Perfect. Otto, you've done the psychic connection in this moment. Do you do anything?
Aside from having Nimbus kind of fly a little bit closer to me, but I want him to perch on one of the buildings nearby to keep an eye on what exactly what the constables are doing and kind of ear hustle. Because now seeing that it's these people, it could, the previous "it seems we have company" could be referring to them, but for the kids' safety, I'm gonna have them just kind of start peeling back.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, wonderful.
When the cops show up, the kid criminals should leave.
As the constables and Inspector Solara step up, you see that she's striding pretty confidently forward in this moment. Business, Vic, you've seen business. And so Solara is not messing around in this moment. Meanwhile, Cordelia, you flip to yourself. Ronnie, you've pulled out a sheaf of papers. The top of the papers, Ronnie, that you pull out say, "A Kiss in the Shadows." And it's the script.
Why is this hidden away? What's weird about this script? That it is like in a hidden compartment in his
Cordelia,
not a particularly good script. Like it's fine. So it's definitely not something worth hiding away.
Cordelia, you look and under your notes, you can see all of your films as they go. You can see Anacondas and Above. But as you watch your films as they're going, you see that after Anaconda, that at the beginning of all of this, right? At the beginning, you notice that Mickey was noting the keywords that are kind of around your name are lost cause, failed actress. And that was very beginning of before you even got a position at Weird Studios. You see as Mickey's sort of making a note, send back to Dockside, maybe to Powder Keg. And then you see a final note there that Mickey writes, SS offered something big. Cordelia got booked. And with as you read that, Ronnie, you have pulled out the script in this moment. Cordelia, you see that, like most scripts, this one has a little bit of a date on it. This script is the script, it's dated before the recent reshoots have been happening.
An old script?
Yeah, it looks like it. Can we see if there's any? Can we do like a
Yeah, can
Arcana
I do
check
an
or something?
arcana check on it, see if it's magicked in some way?
Without even looking, you can see how damaged and beat up it is. It is not magical in any way. Uh, though Cordelia, if you want, you can see that even your first line of the script is different than the line you've been filming.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
What else do I notice is different? Can I especially go to the place where the reshoots have been happening in the script?
In the reshoots, you have not been on set to do this yet, but you are supposed to die in the reshoots in a very tragic, lights through the Windows screen. And as you're flipping to that page, you see that in this script, you do not die. You have a triumphant stand and escape away.
And I haven't shot these portions of the reshoots yet.
No.
No, because movie magic, like very literally. There's no editing. Okay. Ooh. All right. I will convey this, yeah, to Ronnie and just sort of be like, not to keep having all of these ominous tidings stack up on each other, but the main difference I'm seeing in this script is that I wasn't supposed to die in this film. And I'm scheduled to do some reshoots where I do.
As you say those words, you hear a knock at the door as Mickey stands there. I'm so sorry. I didn't want this to happen. And two burly constables barge into the room. Vic and Otto, you see as Chief Inspector Solara approaches Pike and the figure, and Otto, you eavesdropping, you hear the figure go, Inspector, that raven up on the bottle is not supposed to be here. Ravens do not come out of Dockside unless they are called out. Search the grounds for our friends. Inspector Solara, and you can hear it, Vic, from a distance as Solara goes, I'm not your dog for you to just direct me around. And you hear as the figure goes, remember that person you lost? Your husband a few years ago? Remember our deal? You help me, and I help you. So get sniffing and root them out. Vic, you watch. And so Solara sighs. Blade comes out from from her belt here, and you see as she lets go of it, and it falls and hangs in the air and begins to spin. You have seen Solara do this before, as her sword has been imbued with the locate creature spell.
Oh. I will message to Otto. Run.
The blade immediately twists to you, Vic. And Solara snaps her fingers, and two of the constables look up in your direction and start sprinting.
All right.
When he made the comments about the raven, we see the locate. Did the locate creature didn't point at me? It pointed at Vic.
Yep.
Okay. I imagine Pike. Pardon?
Because he telepathically communicated, probably.
Is that how locate creature works?
No, you think that Solara knew who to look knowing who to look for.
Oh, knew who to look for him.
Yeah.
Well,
she had to look for me specifically.
If they find Vic, chances are they kind of assume that I'm here, So I'm gonna have the Raven. It's still flying. It can mimic me. I think I'm just gonna have it say, something like, "You sure are stubborn about dying, Pike. Shame you can't get it right the first time. At least this time we can make it a bit more interesting." And then I'm gonna have Nimbus just dart off in the opposite direction of where I'm going,
Perfect.
and I'll stop sharing my senses with it and go off into the alley.
Awesome. As you're doing so, Vic, you can turn and run. You see as Solara goes, all right, the other one then, and the blade begins to spin. Otto, you are splitting off as the blade. You, Vic, just in the final glance, see as Solara goes, let's get him, and they sprint off. You two are running. You see Cordelia and Ronnie as the two constables burst into the room, and you. This is where we are going to end our session for this evening.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, at least Cordelia and Ronnie aren't outnumbered because they got two others with them.
That's right.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Oh,
They're gonna pull
yeah.
that little kid tactic where they
We
run
could
behind one
probably
seat and
just-
crouch down and push them
We
over.
could probably just go out the window and just,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
keep. That's our new thing. We just keep
Let's,
doing
out the
This is-
window.
it's
Hey.
window time.
This is the one room
100%
where there's
success
no
rate.
window.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for coming and joining us this evening. Again, this is a pre-recorded episode, but stick around. We'll have our live sessions coming up as well. We'll keep you updated as when those occur. Also, go and check out some of the other shows going on. Check in with the Dungeon Scrawler schedule happening on Twitch. I know during the holidays we changed things up a little bit, but you can catch a couple of shows happening on Monday evenings. You also can catch some midday shows like Baldur's Gate 3 or Elder Scrolls being played as well. So go ahead, check the schedule. I know it's a little bit in flux as we've come into the holiday season. Also, thanks for coming and joining us as we are a little over halfway through our dear adventure here, and our party is starting to really get into it a little bit more. And yeah, so it's so much fun to have you hang out and join us, and we'll be back coming up soon. So stick around. All right. Farewell, farewell.